Hello my beautiful designers, my beautiful viewers. Welcome to TRU-HART collection, and my name is Judy Hart. I am so grateful for really sticking with us to growth of this channel. I appreciate you. I do appreciate every single figure you have tapped on the bell, on the subscription button. Thank you so much. And if you're watching me right now and you haven't subscribed to this channel, could you please do so? I would love to thank you for all my subscribers, those who have put effort to make the growth of this channel. Thank you so much. And today I am off from my usual work, that is lecturing fashion and design student, and so here I am for you all to you, and I would like to do something much bigger for you, away from the usual stuff I've been doing for you. I would love us to make pajamas. I don't think there is any woman who would really want comfort during sleeping. Oh yes, we would really want to feel comfortable. And as a designer, it feels more comfortable when you're the one who have made yourself that pajama, that night dress you are catching good sleep with. And so yes, with me here, you are going to learn to make for yourself one. And so the pajama I am going to make is going to be out of silk fabric, the silk fabric, and I can show you some few designs I've picked, what has inspired me to make this. And there is this design I've picked, and then there is this one as well I've picked, and there is this and that. So I would rather go with this one. I love it. Yes, I'll go with this. And I don't know about you, but everyone has different design, and this is my fabric. I really love white. So I'll do the measurement for a short. I'm very quite sure you know how to measure shirt because I did shirt. Alright, so let's do the measurement for a short. One thing I will do first is I will do my waist. I will do my waist. After getting my waist, of course it's going to be a bit loose, but I need my actual waist. I'll come to my hips. I'll measure my hips, and then after the hips, I'll go to my length. From the waist to the length, I don't need it high, so here it will be more than enough. After the length, I'll do my thigh. I'll do my thigh width, and then thigh width should be close to your crotch. This is crotch. When you're making a pant, this is crotch. Again, and then after thigh, you have to do the bottom width. So if this is where you want it, the length to be, and then you have to do the bottom width. Remember the thigh is here. So this is my bottom width. In case my bottom width, after the bottom width, you need crotch. Now some people would really want to do crotch like this. They put the tape measure here, turn around, and then here. But now, how are you going to calculate this? Crotch is the seat rise. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my stool. I hope you can get me. And I am going to sit. So when I sit, and this is what, from the waist to the seat, yes, I'll put my tape measure right there, and that's what I'll get as my seat rise. So my seat rise will be something like here to the hip line, or that to the border rise, and that will give me a complete pant measurement. So let's get to the drafting. We are going to make short, but like I told you, I've already done the measurement during my weekend, and for now we are just going to go right away how to draft. And so before even you continue going on to drafting, you need to understand what is the measurement, what are you going to use, and that's why I did it earlier on. And so this is women's trouser, and I am as well going to go on and teach you how to draft men's trouser. But what I can tell you is there's no much difference. The time I've been working with men and women outfits, because me I do both, and I can guarantee you that there is nothing that is hard if you put your mind into it with the passion and the effort, and the daily practice will always make improvement. So from women's outfits, this is the book I use. Yes, this is the book I use. It's I hope you can be able to see. So this is the book I use for quite time. I was able to order it from USA, and my parents were able to help me deliver it to me. Thank you so much, Mommy and Dad. And so they have really been so helpful into my career, so helpful into my life. Like they understand, and that's the most important thing in this world. Can you learn to understand your children, learn to understand what someone really needs, sit down with them, talk to them. And that's the same thing I do with my students. I have to make sure that each one of them, I have to understand, are you good in garment construction or are you good in pattern drafting? Because it can work both, but sometimes some people are not good in stitching, and the point is, if you're not good in stitching, getting the stitches right, my friend, somehow in our world today, it will not take you far. So you have to put both effort on both areas. Learn to make sure that you're able to draft and you're able to as well do the perfect stitching. And so me, I really try to do both, and that's why you could see that I as well have men's cutting book, and this is what I use for men's, and I'll be able to drop you how to cut men's trouser in my video shortly. This is the book I use, and though somehow it's a little bit difficult understanding it, but what I'm going to break you into my teaching here is very simple. I go through this and I simplify it to my understanding. Once I get it easily, and I have to break it down that way, when I give it out, you won't get hard time finding it, or you won't get hard time learning to it, because I have to make sure that it's working for me, and once it is well with me, I swear I can give it to you with ease. So stick with me. If you love this video, give it a thumb up, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, could you please do so? We give you our heart desired designs to you, and we love you. God loves you. All right, so let's get to the drafting part. This is my drafting paper, and I'm just going to go through the measurement. I'm going to list them. My waist is 28. My hip is 35. My crotch and Z 10 inch, like how I measured. That is my sit rise, as in my waist to sit. And I would need length, and my length is 14. It's a very short short, of course, for the night. And I will need the thigh. Yes, I will need a thigh width. It is for the thigh width is 22 inches. I'm using inches. And again, I will need the bottom width. The bottom width is where the length stops, and that is 20 inches. So all this measurement, make sure that it's in inches, and if you're in cm, no, this is in inches. And so I've already done the measurement. This is my tape measure, and this is my ruler. These rulers, I use them for trousers, and these are trouser rulers. You could see there is a seam ruler, and even inside seam, and then there is a hip ruler. So I am going to go ahead and get my tape measure. One thing I do most times is to rule. I love ruling my papers. I just want to let you know that I'm doing the front part first, because without the front pattern, you won't be able to get the right back pattern. So let's go with the front. And so like I told you, I love ruling my paper, and this is what I am going to do. I'm going to rule my paper. This is just something I do, and I am going to measure 5 inches. I'm ruling my paper, and that dot helps me with a very straight line like how you are seeing. And that 5 inches, I am going to explain to you why I have left it, but for now let's just ignore it a little bit, and we call that line we have just ruled as top line or waistline, just as you are seeing me writing. And then let's go to the side. I am going to give 3 inches. One of the things I love is I love to leave extra areas aside. That helps me with the extra designs, just in case I'm trying to put other designs. It can be really useful. So let's go to the length. I'm going to take from my top line to the length of my short. Let's check out the length. The length is 14, so I'm going to take my tape measure from my top line to 14 inches, and I am going to rule. I'm going to also mark somewhere 14 inches. That helps me with a straight line, and I'll get my ruler. And rule it right away. Yes, and I will mark it right away, L, and L stands for length. Immediately I'm going to proceed to my hemming allowance. I've given it 2 inches because I really want it a little bigger to give me the design I want. So 2 inches will be enough for me for my hemming allowance, and I'm going to mark this as well, the hemming right there. That way I don't get confused. Now the next thing I'm going to go right away is crotch. I'm going to do the crotch, and crotches can be as well borderized, and the same time you can call it waist to sit. That's where you sit. So for a client, you can make your client to sit, and then you can just measure. And like how I did mine, when I sat, I was able to measure 10 inches, and that 10 inches I've just brought it right there and I've marked it. So you can do the same. It has worked for me, and I'm sure it will work for you too. I will indicate C, and C is for crotch. So I will divide waist by 4, and I'm going to get through. I'm going to add 3. The 3 inches I'm going to add will be for the ease to fit in easily. Remember, our short will have elastic going through all around the waist, so the 3 inch is definitely for the gathering the elastic. And in my videos you could see that I usually use tape measures for dividing, and I'm dividing my waist by 4 using the tape measure technique. And so I have joined this to my staff. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I go 2 inches up. That will bring my hip line 2 inches, and then here 2 inches. This brings my hip line. So this becomes my hip line. So on my crotch, I will just do 2 inches. I will move 2 inches out, and that is standard measurement I would advise many people should be using, because it has worked for me. And in my book they will give you calculation and formulas how you should do, and for me here I can tell you that just do 2 inches on this crotch line, and it helps you to give yourself a curve. Isn't that? Just a simple curve like that. Now you get your hip measurement, and you need to make sure that you put it here. But of course, now if your hip is bigger, then let's see, mine is 35. So that is like, probably I'm getting something like as 8 point something, 8 point that, but now this is my line and I need that allowance, so I can decide to, if that is it, and then I can decide to give 2 inch as allowance, even more for the fitting to come in, but I'll make sure that I will give 2, that way I can be in position. So on this stuff, and then I will be able to join. This is my hip line, hip roller. I can be able to join from my waist to my hip line, hip line. So you can see that there is a slightly that has moved out here, but that is okay. Now on this one, I can now join this straight here. So now here, remember that I have my waist, and this waist I am not going to add a waistband, and I just want it to be there. The waistband will not be attached. I'm just going to fold, and for that I'm going to make sure that I go 3 inches up, 3 inches up, and 3 inches up. So this is going to help me with at least 1 inch of my waistband, and this become my waistband. That's why I was leaving those spaces there. So my 3 inches up here helps me to get my waistband. So when I cut, I'm going to cut it with that 3 inch up. And my thigh should be, I'm not going to measure from the crotch where the thigh is, but I'm going to understand that the thigh is closely on the crotch, not far away. But basically, this is more of my thigh because my short is a bit shorter. So I'm just going to use this as my thigh, and that is, so you are going to divide thigh, the hip, you divide it by 2 by 4, and then you can add 3 or 2, depending on how bulky you want your pant to be. But for me, I do not want it bulky. I am very small size, so surely. But for bigger people and extra large, you can add more than that. That way it will be free on them. And this is pajama. Remember, this is not a fitting short. And after this, I will be able to take you through how to draft a fitting short for our ladies. But for now, let's go with this bulkiness. And so for the thigh, I'm going to divide it by 2, and that is 11. And remember that I am going with the extra eases. So from this point here, I am going to make sure that I do 11, and I can decide to add more. And even close here, I need to do like 11 and add more. That way it can be like you can add 1.5 inch or 2. Your allowance will always be more than at least 2 inches if it's too well. So on this point here, I'm just going to make sure that I bring this line straight, and I at least give it some space here, that way the cutting can be, the hemming can be well. So this is my hemming line, and I'm just going to make sure that I give that straight because I need something a little bulky. And this is my front, and I am done with my front. So this is my front, and we are going to do cutting. So I'm going to just cut out my front and then together back pattern. Ta-da! And so like I told you, I'm cutting my stuff off the front pattern, and when I want to do the hemming, when I want to cut off the hemming, I'm going to make sure that I fold it and I give it like this, and then I can close it here. Yes. So that way I can be able to get my hemming can be perfectly like that. When I fold it, I'm able to get it well, and when I get it off like this, I'm able to get something similar to that. And so this is my front. is now my front pattern, and I need my back pattern. So for me to get my front pattern, I'll get a piece of paper and make sure that I'll be able to trace my front pattern. So the same way, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to now make sure that I will use black for the black front. I'll make sure that I ruled my line like how it was before. I'll leave 5 inches up, 5 inches up, and then 5 inches up. Yes. So for this, make sure that I will go with my actual size. I will fold my waistband inside, and if I fold my allowance for the waistband, and this is what I'll get. So I'll make sure that I'll put this one right here onto this, and then I can do that tracing. And I need to ensure that this is really into the same, so I can do that tracing. So I'm going to trace. This is my front, and this is it. That is my line. That is my start. This is my start. And that's it. And that's it. This is it, and this is it. So I'm doing that tracing, and do that tracing. So ta-da! I've finished tracing my front pattern, and I can be able to get it like this, and this. And this is my hip line. So we have finished tracing the front pattern, and this front pattern we need a back pattern in it. So how do you get a difference between the back pattern and front pattern? So the most important thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that from this front line you're going to move 3 inches off. 3 inches, okay? So from this 3 inches you're going to join it to the crotch of the front for you to get a back. And you're going to make sure that you make a perpendicular line straight away like this. Have you seen what I've just done? And then from this line on the crotch, what you can do for yourself is instead of adding 2 inches, you can add 2.5 or 3 inches. It depends on how big this person is. For me, I can use 2.5. But because it's bulky, I can as well go with 3 inches. So my pocket is a little bit small. I can decide to go with 3 inches here, right here, and then that becomes my style. So here I'm going to make sure that I can go on the cross 2.5, and then I can go here 2 inches. So you need more extra 2 inches for your back pattern, and all you need to do is to rule this line straight there, and you go. So you can decide to join it to your stuff. Now you see what I've just done. That is allowance. Now from this point here, you're going to go on this point. You're going to go up 1 inch, up 1 inch, and this 1 inch up, you're going to make sure that you draw your line to meet this point here, to meet the waistline. Remember, this is your waistline, and you're creating a new waistline for your back pattern. So this becomes your waistline for the back. Your waistline for the back. Now, onto that, you're going to create the distance from here to here. The distance from front pattern, and remember it was 10. So remember, when you divide your waist by 4, and you add in 3, you are getting 10. And this is the waist is 28, but I don't know about your waist, it could be different. So the same distance I'm going to carry to here. And that is my waist. Now remember that the waist should be a little, back should be a little bigger. So now it is up to you. Do you want to add another 2 inches? Yes, you can decide to add 2 inches, and you can as well decide to add 1.5. It depends on how bulky you want it. Even you can add 3 inches onto extra back pattern. Remember, you're adding onto this 10. Do you want to add 4? Do you want to add 3? Do you want to add 2? How bulky? Remember, elastic is going to bring it together. So for me, this is more than enough. 2 inches. I've added 2 inches, though my space here is a little bit smaller. I've added 2 inches, and then this 2 inches, now you have to make sure that you bring it to here. Again here, this is what I'm saying. So onto this, and you need to make sure that you want to bring this to this part. So you find that you have your, that is the front back pattern you're getting. And here all you need to do is you can get your ruler and you give it the curve. So from there you're able to get your back pattern with that. And remember, here we are going to add the allowances. And here I was telling you that you have to make sure that from this waistline you can add 2 more in. So this is my 2 more in, and I'm going to join this line to my stuff straight away like this. And remember that my waist is not attached, it is there. So I would need 3 inches for my waistband, 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. So the 3 inches is for my waistband, and it is there for me to attach it to it. So this becomes my waistband for the back. And then our short is already done, and we can be able to cut it, and we can be able to see the difference between the back and front. So I'm going to make sure that I cut mine. Back, and this is my front. So you will see that the difference is really good. You see that? So front, the reason why people do make short a little bit funny is because they're not understanding how the front short should be, and this is how it should be. So when I'm to fold this off, and when I'm to fold my allowance from here as well off, and this is how I will get. In case I want a waistband to be attached, that will be my short, and this will be my in equal sizes.